There are many sure signs that spring is getting closer. When the snow starts to melt, or the potholes start appearing, and when the birds start chirping.
That's right. And another sign of spring is that it's time to tap the maple trees. And here with us to talk about some of the events tied to maple sugaring at the Grass River Natural Area is Education Director James Dake. Thanks for being here with us, James. Before we get into the events, tell us a little bit about the Grass River Natural Area.
Yeah, we're a preserve in Bel Air. We have about 1,500 acres, 7 miles of trails. A lot of that's boardwalk that take you through the wetlands, and also an education program that's open year-round, where we do a variety of different programming for the public.
That's great. How long have you guys been around?
About 56 years. So
Okay.
we have a long history of a kind of a grassroots movement of people wanting to protect the important river that connects Lake Bel Air to Clam. So a lot of long history.
That's great. Well, we know you have an event coming up, one of many, but this one to teach about both traditional and modern methods of maple tree tapping. Can you tell us what's coming up in that regard?
Yes, yeah, this Saturday at 11, we do a public program to teach people about kind of the art of tapping maple trees. So we get a chance to learn the different types of equipment that's used, from the more traditional buckets and taps to more modern sap lines. So folks learn the equipment, they get to see the process in action, then they get to tap a tree themselves and taste some of the maple syrup that we actually make at Grass River.
So you really get to see it from start to finish. And I actually did something like this last year. I went and learned how to tap the trees, and it really gives you a new appreciation for whenever you have syrup afterwards or anything maple, because it's like there's a lot of work that goes into it. I was pleasantly I was impressed, to say the least.
Yes, it takes a lot of work, but it's worth it in the end. It's a good reason to get outside this time of year. This time of year, a lot of people, they want to wait till the warm weather gets here, but this encourages you to get out in the woods, which is nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
As far as the science behind this goes, James, how do you time this? Is it all dependent on the temperature for when those trees are ready?
It is, yeah. It's this time of year where we get the freezing at night and then the thawing during the day. That freeze and thaw actually creates pressure inside of the tree, which is what pushes the sap out of the tree. Then you collect all that sap. Then it's the process of boiling it down to get rid of that water to concentrate the sugar that turns it into syrup.
And is there a way to gauge if you think it's going to be a good season this year, or sometimes like the farmers, you can tell if the corn is going to grow better, stuff like that when it comes to the maple trees? How do you decipher that?
Yeah, it can be hard to predict, but the biggest thing is that the longer we have that freeze-thaw cycle, the longer the season will be. So we'll have more of an opportunity to collect more sap. If it warms up really, really fast, it shortens the season, so we won't get as much sap. So we're hoping for a normal spring where it stays a little chilly for a little while and doesn't warm up too fast.
So then last year, did you see a drastically different season just because we didn't have as much of the winter conditions, or did that really affect you?
It was a little bit of a shorter season last year because it did warm up a little faster, but it changes year to year, and you just kind of go with it, and kind of keeps it exciting that way.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell us about the event this weekend, if you need to pre-register, if there's a cost to it.
Yeah, you can register online at grassriver.org, but we do also accept walk-ins if you just want to show up that day at 11. And it's $10 per person, but it's open to all ages.
Awesome.
And
I was going to say, later this month, you've got another event in this same genre here, boiling sap on an evaporator. Kind of see the process in action. Do you have any details on that?
Yeah, so that'll be our Maple Fest. That's more of like an open house style event. So we have folks out there running the evaporator so people can come and see it and kind of see the process in action. And that's free and open to the public. That's on March 15th at noon until 3. So people can just stop in and watch the process in action. That's free family event.
So James, I have to ask, what is your favorite type of maple treat, or what do you like to put this maple in, or what do you prefer?
Yeah, actually one of my favorite things, which I'm enjoying this morning, is to actually put a little bit of maple syrup in your coffee. It's a nice way to sweeten the coffee and add some nice flavor in there. So yeah, the syrup's definitely my favorite, but you can make candies and maple sugar as well.
And I bet it's a little healthier for you to do it that way than the creamer.
James, we got about a minute left. As the education director, you've got your pulse on everything. Other programs you want to just tell us about real quickly here for the spring, or anything you're looking forward to for later in the months of the year?
Sure, yeah. So as we move into spring, we do a lot of bird walks on weekends. We do those monthly. So as the birds start coming back, definitely look out for those on our weekend events. Our center's open every weekend. And then once we hit May, then we are open 7 days a week, so people can always stop out at the center. And that's always free. Our trails are open dawn to dusk. We get a lot of school field trips in the spring as well, so schools come out and visit. And then in June, the first weekend in June, we're doing what's called a Fen Fest, where we'll have folks out for kayak tours, for orchid walks, bird tours, wildflower walks. That'll also be our native plant sale that weekend as well.
You do all the things.
I know. I was looking at the website too. You got me sold at the river otters and checking out how busy they are.
Bill loves otters.
Yes.
Man, now I got to check it out in person. James Dake from Grass River Natural Area, thanks so much for being
James.
with us.
Thanks for having me.